Hey co-stars, welcome to another episode of Generation Films. My name is British Ben. Now, in our previous episode, because Alan is so scared of space, he decided to put together a list of the toughest, most durable starships out there in the science fiction universe in the hope that he might be able to protect himself in the vacuum and unknown expanse that is space, which is filled with terrifying religious fanatics.
In the name of the gods, ships shall be built to carry our warriors out amongst the stars.
Evil cybernetic organisms. And slimy aliens bent on your destruction. So Alan needs a good ship to protect himself as he travels through space. And in this video, I'm going to give you 5 more of the most durable ships in science fiction. Number 1, the Ori Warship. The Aurai Warship is the principal ship of the Aurai, one of the enemies in the later seasons of Stargate SG-1. They're kind of like medieval Christian extremists with a little bit of dark side of the Force added in. Although technically, if you want to be super accurate, the Aurai themselves are ascended beings. The ones you see in human form are their followers. So you've got regular human beings who are brainwashed by them and worship them, and then you've got the priors who have been given special superpowers by the Aurai and look hideous, kind of like the Sith. Anyway, this was supposed to be about the ship. So these ships are constructed on planets in the Aurai galaxy in a way that is kind of symbolic, like Noah's Ark. They travel to the Milky Way galaxy by way of Supergate. They're 1 kilometer long and they have incredibly powerful shields that render them basically impervious to assault by human, Jafar, or even Asgard weapons. Their shields are so strong that they can even survive the impact and subsequent explosion caused by a Hatak vessel ramming them at full speed. And it's not just defensive capabilities. The main beam weapon on an Ori warship can take out one Hatak-class mothership in 1 shot, and also take out a human Daedalus-class battleship in just a few shots. Man, that thing was brand new at the time of that battle. Expensive mistake fighting the Aurai. And once you have taken out your enemies, the ship can even land on the surface of a planet so you can appreciate the spoils of your conquest. Alright, on to the next one. Number 2, the USS Enterprise. Now you might be like, oh, yawn, the USS Enterprise from Star Trek. We haven't talked about that before, and it's true, but have you ever thought about how many serious life and death incidents the Enterprise has been involved in and survived, okay? Now, in addition to Starfleet ablative armor, there may be some plot armor here, but let's just take a look back at different versions of the Enterprise and how durable they really are. So at the Battle of the Mutara Nebula, the original Enterprise suffers multiple strikes with its shields down and still doesn't explode. The Enterprise B survives an encounter with an energy ribbon that destroys any ship in its path. The Enterprise D manages to separate and crash land on a planet with its saucer section intact, saving most of the people on board. And then we have the Enterprise E, which has survived encounters with the Borg, the Remans, commanded by Picard's evil clone, and that battle even culminated in the Enterprise E ramming the Scimitar, which is a much larger ship, and the Enterprise was still not destroyed, and it actually got a refit and was put back into service. Alright, on to the next one. Number 3, the Invisible Hand. Now this is General Grievous's ship from Star Wars Revenge of the Sith. It's a modified Providence-class dreadnought, and it is protected by a huge complement of vulture droids. Now this ship not only survives a battle where it's under assault from all sides, but it's a great ship to be on if you are going to have a crash landing, because it crashes on a planet, leaving the bridge intact. I mean, it does break in half, but the ship was mostly manned by droids anyway. Pretty much all the sentient life forms on board would be on the bridge. Humanity first. And it's from the bridge that Anakin is able to land the front half of the ship perfectly on the runway. And to be able to land half of a ship that isn't even supposed to separate is pretty durable and impressive if you ask me.
Another happy landing.
Number 4, Razor Crest. Now this is a little ship that can really take a beating. It is the main ship owned by the Mandalorian in the Star Wars series of the same name. Now in the real world, this ship takes inspiration from the US A-10 Warthog, with the huge engines being a key feature. Now, the A-10 is a very durable aircraft. With its first flight back in 1972, it is expected to serve into the 2040s in a ground attack role with the US military, and likewise, Razor Crest is also very durable. There's even a handmade version of the ship out in Serbia braving the cold of winter. In the show The Mandalorian, Razor Crest is attacked by sea monsters, shot up with turbo lasers, crashed on ice planets, or is that Serbia, and crashed into the sea, and gets pieced back together each time and somehow keeps flying. Until it doesn't. Oh well, nothing lasts forever. Anyway, let's move on to our fifth and final durable ship. Number 5, Battlestar Galactica. Galactica was one of 12 Battlestars built during the Cylon War, representing the 12 colonies of humanity. 9 of these ships were lost, but Galactica survived, and it was due to be decommissioned, with some parts of the ship even turned into a museum. But the decommissioning ceremony coincided with a massive Cylon offensive, and Galactica had to be used to escape the colonies. Now, throughout the series, Galactica and another Battlestar, Pegasus, were under constant attack by Cylon forces. But the ship was perfect for the job because it did not have an interconnected computer system that could be hacked into by the Cylons. Instead, it relied on dedicated independent computers manned by highly trained crewmen. Although Galactica was an old ship, it withstood the battles, the attacks by Cylon nuclear weapons, many FTL jumps, and it did all this with a starboard landing bay that had already been converted into a museum. But in the end, it took its toll. In its final days, Galactica's armor had turned brown and wrinkled, with hairline fractures intersecting the hull. But the ship had taken a serious beating over many years with no real home base for repairs. In other words, it had served way longer than it was originally designed to, and it'll go down in history as one of the toughest, most durable ships in science fiction. Alright guys, that's the video for today. Which one of these ships is your favorite? Please forgive me if the section on Battlestar Galactica isn't the most in-depth, most accurate. I really want to watch the whole series, but right now I'm on season 10 of Stargate SG-1, and after I finish that, I gotta make a choice. Battlestar Galactica, or do I go for Stargate Atlantis or Stargate Universe? So many choices. First world problems, guys. It's a crazy. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you're new, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.